Back. I think I've been gone for about a month. I'm so sorry. I definitely need to be a lot more active here. I do need to ask you guys a big favor. You need to like and subscribe my YouTube. I hate asking you to do that. It feels so funny. But that's how YouTube works. I'm trying to get my story out there. And if you guys like and subscribe and comment, it helps me. Okay, so I haven't been here because you guys, guess what happened? A lot of people are trying to stop me from continuing this podcast. I'm not going to stop. That's a promise I've already made to myself, to God, and obviously you, because you are my supporters. A lot of people that watch me here on YouTube are not my supporters. A lot of them are just here waiting for me to say the wrong thing, to call me out. For instance, I had someone write on my comments, I left it there, "It's funny how you claim your parents to be Muslim." What a thing to say. My parents are Muslim. They were born in a Muslim family. That makes them Muslim. That doesn't mean if you were born in a Muslim or Christian or Jewish family that you would practice that religion. So once again, if my story is going to bother you because I come from an Iranian Muslim family, you should stop and not watch this. Because if it's a trigger for you, don't watch it. This is my story, my life, and I'm going to talk about it. My family is Muslim, so I will call them my Muslim family when there's a need to talk about religion. So once again, I want to thank all of you who've been supporting me because what I'm doing is really scary. As a matter of fact, yesterday, another big fight with my mom. So this is an ongoing battle. It's been going on forever. The last podcast I did, I had asked you guys for help. I asked you, what would you like to hear from me? A lot of you, let me cut that down. A lot of you wrote that you would like to know a little bit more about my gang life. So I want to take you back a little bit. Okay, so some people understood the reason I chose a gang to be part of. So all of you know that my father was arrested by the time I was about, I always get confused when it talks about age. I always have to use around 12 or 13. That's pretty much what my 48 years of memory is telling me, because I remember being married at 16 and Q was in jail, so he was probably arrested by 13, 12 or 13. I want to say 13. And you guys know that when he was arrested, my mother lost the home, and so her and I ended up moving into a smaller, first we lived with a friend of hers, which was a single apartment. Imagine we left a mansion to go and live in a single apartment with this amazing woman and her mother that took us in. Because at that point, you remember my mom was cut off by her parents, so no one was giving her anything because she basically lost everything they gave her. So during the time I lived with these people, it was in Glendale, California, and I was really new. So in the school that I happened to go to was a school that was filled with gangs. And we were different gangs. There was, the Armenian gangs, the Mexican gangs, so there was the Bloods, the Crips, and I really wanted family. So somebody wrote under my comments, I don't remember your name, but you did say something about you wanted to hear more about my gang life, about my gangster ex, but somebody wrote, it was I think this is Yesenia. Yesenia asked, I would like to know what you felt while you were in abusive relationships. Did they feel like a comfort zone? Wow, girl. Your question brings me chills because yes, it did. Did the gang life provide you with the stability you were missing, or was it just a sense of family? Yesenia, whoever you are, your message makes me want to cry. Because, being abused by my father and then just living an abused life, mentally abused, abuse wasn't like abuse to someone who's never like been hit on their hand. Okay, so Yesenia, your question is amazing because it's so right. It does feel comfortable. So when I started dating the gangster guy that was abusing me, I did feel safe with him. Crazy, but yes, I did. I do want to tell you that what made me feel safe with the guy that I dated that was a gangster was the fact that he really showed me love. So when you show a child, because I always see myself as a child, the child that never got the love, never got the family, never got the father, you somehow, even at 50, you're still that child looking for that. So my abusive boyfriend at that time gave me the sense of a fatherly figure that cared for me, but my stepfather hit me, so it's all part of it, right? It's love. So that's how I saw it. So when he put a gun in my mouth because I lied to him about smoking a cigarette, I deserve that, right? Because that's how I saw it. I lied. So what did he do back to me? He did what my stepdad or my mom always did. They punished me. And my mom punished me more. She physically hit me too, but more emotional abuse. And then my father hit. So I got emotional and abuse physically from this man that I was with. And yes, what would happen was he would have a complete meltdown, beat the you-know-what out of me, but literally a few hours later, on his knees, kissing, begging, and then taking me for a shopping spree. And that is like you punishing your child, telling your child to go sit in that corner, and then later on, you reward your child. So that's how I felt with him. As a matter of fact, I don't remember if I mentioned this to you, but he was in a relationship for like 8 years while he was in a relationship with me. This man was a monster, but I didn't see the monster side. I only saw the love, the kindness. He would even, buy things for my family. He knew how to work it. Within 2 years of being with him, I wasn't even allowed to kiss my cousins anymore. So it was very controlled. But his control, his abuse felt like love. So that's why today I help women get out of abused relationships, because I understand you. I understand what it feels like. It's safe. It also becomes a cycle. Yeah, he's going to hit me, but then a few hours later, I'm going to get what I want. He's going to give me the love and the affection. So, and then so before him, I got into the gangs. So that actually made it easier, to date a gangster. So when I was in junior high school, that's when my mom moved to Glendale. And I want to, you guys, so many of you asked me how I got into the gang. So I'm going to explain it to you really quick. So basically what happened was I was in school and I did not really understand the Bloods and the Crips. And so I think I wore like a red bandana to school, like in my hair. I didn't know. My mom used to cut my hair short all the time. So I always felt like I needed to somehow make myself look like more of a girl. So I do things. And so with that red bandana started the whole thing at school. I was in school and then somebody came from behind me and ripped the bandana out of my head. I was new to the school and I was like, what the hell is going on? And I was told that, this is like a school of Crips. Like we don't want Bloods. And I didn't even know what that was. And I just wanted friends. So I met this girl in school. She was this beautiful Hispanic girl. And Patty, that was your name. Patty from Glendale. If you watch this, it's Netta. I'd love to find you. Anyway, all my gang friends are pretty much not alive right now. But so Patty invited me to her house one time. And I went to her house. You guys, I don't know if this is at all being racist, but this Mexican family was everything I ever wanted. As a matter of fact, I today always tell my son, could you please marry a Mexican girl? I absolutely, that's because I come from a Persian family, and then in the school they were Armenian. I kind of felt like they were Persian, so I didn't identify with them that much because I was trying to get away from the Persian people. No offense, not now, back then, because I didn't know better. And so the Mexican people and the Mexican families attracted me because they are family. And Patty's life was everything I wanted. And Patty couldn't understand it because I come from money. So, like, I could buy whatever I want. I could wear whatever I want, even though my mom lost everything. Remember, my mother's family is very wealthy. I still have my uncle, so I still could get what I needed. We just happened to live in a smaller place, but my mom still had, you know, her brothers and everybody take care of her. My mom has never been homeless or poor, just so you know. Maybe for a short time, but very short. So Patty is the reason why I became attracted to the Mexican families, and I somehow just was drawn to them in school. And so one day they said, hey, Netta, we want to jump you into our gang. And I can't say the gang name, but you all know it's not the red, it's the blue. So I don't want to get into it. So I joined the blue. And how I got jumped into the gang was fighting. I was very good at fighting. Remember, I didn't care about getting beat up either. So back then, this is how we did it. My gang was a big group. We had young people, we had 20-year-olds, and then we had the older ones. They were in jail. And then, you know, there were older ones out of jail. And so how you got in a gang was you had to get jumped by your own gang. So I, by myself, had to walk through an alley, and I got jumped by, I don't know, 20 girls. And when they jump you, they jump you. So basically, you have to fight back, and hopefully you come out alive. And I did. I actually came out alive, and lots of people's hair in my hand. So at the end of the day, they were like, holy shit, she's strong, she's tough. So I became part of the gang. Literally overnight. And you guys, they called me Angel Face because I had two sides to me. One, I could rip your face, no problem, or I want to protect you. I was battling God and devil inside of me because I felt bad every time I beat up someone. I would feel bad. I wouldn't feel good, where my friends didn't feel so bad. And so my gang name was Angel Face because I could do things, but I didn't look like a bad person. Does that make sense? Anyway, so we were little criminals. We did a lot of bad things. We were taggers. I was in the gang for 3 years. And the gang life brought me family. So I'm sure a lot of you are going to judge what I'm saying. And remember, I was in gangs, how long ago? 30 years? So things have changed 30 years ago. So back then, gangs were more like taggers. We did school. We fought people, rivals. And then towards the end, as I was getting out, that's when people were starting to get shot and stabbed. And I realized that, whoa, this gang is going to start asking me to do things to, you know, gain teardrops and things like that. So I knew my mom actually had to get me out. So basically my mom I started having a lot of gang members coming to my house, and she caught me a lot. That's my dog. She caught me in a lot of, like one time, you guys, I'll tell you a crazy story. So I did school with my entire gang. We were at the park, and my mom was driving by. I can't remember if she was on a bus or if she was in her car that time. She caught me once on a bus too. So she was in her car, and she looks over and she sees me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get caught. So what happened was, that was the time she saw me in a fight with like 14 girls. And I was like, after the fight, I had a big black eye too. And I remember like looking at her, and she like looked at me, and we all started running as fast as we could, because we're young, running back to the school like as fast as I could with a black eye and everything. But anyway, what would you do if you were a mom and you saw that? You know, I got myself out of that like this. And I remember the only thing she was concerned about was my black eye. And honestly, I didn't get punished. And I think she was more concerned about me being the winner. So you're dealing with someone who's just not well. So I started gravitating to men, because I realized she's sick, man. Like, she's sick. She can't help me. She doesn't even get it. Like, if I caught my teenage child at 13 years old doing that, she would never go back to that school. But my mom set me back right away, because that was the way of getting rid of me for the 8 hours a day. Like, that was the best thing that ever happened to her. So the gang life for me was like hanging out in abandoned homes, stealing cars, just, doing anything that was bad. But she didn't care. It was more like, oh, I saw those people climbing in your window. She was so busy, you guys. She pretended to care. She didn't care. So being jumped and then being like in this gang and feeling powerful, these are all the things that Q had taught me. And she didn't make it any better. Like, she never really sat me down and said, hey, I'm your family. I'm your mom. I can do this for you. You don't need Patty's mom. Because, there's one thing my mom always did, and that was, there was always food in our home. Whenever I came home from school, lunch and dinners, always there. So let's give her credit for at least feeding her children, because she was definitely that mom. But that was it. The rest, it was on my own. I think I might have mentioned to you, by the time I was 10, I was pretty much raising myself and taking care of my 1-year-old brother. So I don't really know what else to tell you guys about my childhood gang life growing up, other than it was just basic bad, ditching school. Oh, okay, I'll tell you one other thing I did. When I was about 13 years old, I was in 7th grade, I think that's it, 7th grade. That's when I got thrown out of the school. That's when we moved. Okay, so I'll tell you what happened at the very end of my gang life. So the teacher was a Caucasian teacher, and we were mostly either Middle Eastern in the school, Hispanic, or African American. And we were all sitting down. Now, my gang was in rival with the African Americans back then. I don't know how it is now, but it was like the Bloods and the Crips. Isabella, I'm filming. So anyway, long story short, remember, I'm still a good person, even though I'm in gangs, and they called me Angel Face for a reason, because I cared for people. So in my classroom, the teacher called the student the N-word. I couldn't believe it. And I just looked at the student, and I remember it was a he, and he just put his head down like this, and I just couldn't control myself. It was a substitute teacher. I got up and I was like, what'd you just say? And the teacher said, sit down, something bad again. And then she said, she's sick and tired of the N person, these N people. And I popped her right in her face. Like she went down. I almost threw myself at the teacher. Luckily, the students, got me back. And I just remember getting up. The teacher was on the ground. And I knew that I was going to get in trouble with the Mexican people because you're not supposed to really stand up for anybody in your rival gangs. Back then, I don't know how it is now. I'm just talking about what happened with me back my days. And I couldn't help it, you guys. I would never allow that. I can never allow anybody to call someone the N-word. Heck no. So what happened was I got up and I said, hey, if you want to stay here, you can stay here. But I want every single person to get up, get the hell out of this classroom, walk out with me, and let's go petition in front of the school. I was a troublemaker, so I just wanted trouble. But I also knew I was going to be in trouble because I just protected someone I shouldn't have protected. And that started up a whole can of worms. That why is Netta protecting those people? Long story short, yeah, I had some problems in between that, but that's because I was standing up. And so now I have the Bloods are liking me because what I did. So what happened was I realized it's my time to leave the gang because I'm not a gang person. I'm not a good group person, meaning one group. I'm a person that wants to help and support a lot of people. But I didn't know that back then. I just knew it's time to get the hell out of here. So what happened was I was okay with my gang, thank God. It worked out. I didn't leave the gang in vain. I left the gang with peace. It's very hard to get out of a gang, but they knew what I was dealing with. They knew that I had a father in jail. They knew that my mom didn't have, the funds to stay, on her own in Glendale. And so another opportunity opened up. So basically, yeah, I left. Where did I go from there? Oh yeah, yes, I do remember now. So when I left this gang, I moved. Where did I move, you guys? To the Valley, San Fernando Valley, where I met my future husband that they made me get married to. And that story is the one, you remember? I stayed with my mom's friends, the older girls, the 20-year-olds. And that's where I came from, gangs. So I came from gangs to these 20-year-old girls taking me to Motley Crue concert. That was my first concert. Going to parties, cigarettes and drugs, alcohol, and then getting married. I have more stories to tell you about my marriage. I'll go back to that one, okay? But I want to finish these questions. So then I was with that guy, you remember, the guy married, and then at 18 years old is when I tried to get out, and then I started working for the pizza place, then had that whole thing go down with my ex-husband's cousin, the one that kidnapped me and did all the bad things to me. So I had nowhere else to go. So that's why I ended up moving in with a gangster. Oh God, Netta, do you ever learn? And so he was from a whole different gang. So this is not the Bloods and the Crips. Moved on from that. And now I've entered his life. I'd rather not just, I think I might have told you guys where he's from, but I don't want to say it again. I have a lot of legal stuff I have to be careful with. So the less is more about telling you about where they're from and stuff, because I got in a lot of trouble, as you know. That's why I haven't been here for a month. I'm fighting a lot of legal things, but I'm not going to stop. Luckily, I have a great lawyer. So anyway, so this is now, so really, if you think about it, I've been in the mafia in my own gang, and now dating a gangster. So what do I know other than this life? I don't know anything else. I just know drugs, drug dealing. I wasn't really a druggie myself. I think I told you guys that already. I didn't really do drugs. I was around drugs. So my boyfriend at that time was a drug dealer. And he was just, doing a lot of bad things. But I don't care because it was okay, right? And he took care of me. So now I just found a place to go, and that was living with him. And then, whoa, guys, the stuff that went down living with this guy for 3 years, probably, I would have to say, was the worst 3 years of my life. The torture, I think I might have told you guys a lot of things that have happened. I have to go back and look at my YouTube videos just to make sure I don't rerun it all over again with you guys. But he was very dangerous. He was probably the most dangerous man I've ever dated or been with. He had definitely done some bad things to people. He had no problem if he wanted to kill someone. It was absolutely no problem for him. He had no empathy. He had a lot of love for me and his family. Like, I saw him treat his family like gold. And he was like, beat me up, but then good to me, beat me up, good to me. So this abusive relationship, if you're in it, you guys, it feels okay. I am so embarrassed sometimes when I want to tell people, like, I have a scar on my lip that I see every day from this guy. I have scars in my brain and my heart of things that I've seen him do. One time, I think I told you guys this, I'm not sure, but I got in a big fight with him. And oh yeah, I told you guys. And he seriously threw me out of the house naked. My mom picked me up and later told me to go back. Like, you're dealing with a psychotic lady who sees you're getting abused, but he loves you. He's okay. I like him. Oh, because he bought you furniture. It's just a sick. I didn't have healthy people in my life. So being in abusive relationships, Yesenia, 100% felt right. You guys have asked me for pictures. I'm going to show you pictures. I would love to hear about your relationship with your husband now. That will definitely come more. I would bring that later. Somebody wrote this about my mom. Netajan, I don't want to sound rude at all, but I wanted to let you know something honest. She's obviously your mom, and you love her a lot, regardless of what she puts you through. However, you need to understand some people age, but they don't grow up. Bravo. She's still a child. My mother is the same person she was when I was little, growing up. And this person got it because she gets that I'm every day trying to beg for my mom's love. The moment she just comes and pats my hair, I get so excited, and then it's like, so this last month, you guys, I haven't seen her for 3 weeks because I had to check out. She hurts me so much. It's every time, it reminds me of being in an abusive relationship. Every time they say it's the last time, you believe it. Every hit, you think, okay, that's your last time. Okay, I believe you. So with my mom, I believe everything she says. I'm still a victim of her. I'm still her victim. I'm still looking for love. I'm still looking for that mother. I'm still looking to be the child. I'm still looking for her to tell me, good job. You guys, for 20 years, I've been a role model to women. For 20 years, today my job is, I work with the physical body. I'm an intuitive healer. I'm also a dance teacher. I'm a trainer. I worked my butt off. I put myself through school. I got a master's in physiology. She doesn't even know that. I have a business, but before my business, I worked at a gym. My mother, in 20 years that I've been teaching, training stars, getting people out of wheelchairs, I was a PE teacher. I have helped so many people off medication, off therapy. My mother, how many times has my mother seen me do work? If you can think about it.
Possibly a spectrum a couple of times. You know,
And
she took your class once or twice, so she took spinning.
true, I even forgot about that. And then how about since the last 8 years that we started my business?
No, she's never been in. She's been outside dropping off and picking up others.
But I've had cousins who come from Iran come and see what I do. My uncle came to visit. My husband's family, sons, come. I have people that actually want to come and see what I do. She's never seen it, you guys. She's never seen it. I just started a fitness app in the last year. Never seen it. She's never even asked what I do. How is it possible that a mother, I know everything about my kids. I know everything about my stepkids. I ask everything about them. My mother doesn't know anything about us. By the way, my daughter was in talent shows for 6 years. She came to one or two maybe, two. Okay, two. Give her credit, two. My daughter is a performer. She sings, she danced. My mother never came to one. Maybe one. One in Pepperdine. So, okay, so if I called my mom right now and it said, hey mom, Isabella has a play tomorrow. Do you think you can come? She'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I have my card game. If I have my card game, you know, I can come tomorrow. Yeah, but it's a freaking talent show, mom. It's today. You guys, I've had emergencies. I've had things that I've had to go to. You guys, in the last, let's go 10 years. In the last 10 years, how many times has my mom babysat for us?
Maybe 3 times. Yeah.
3 times in 10 years. She never calls.
We always had this date we had, like 2
Oh yeah, we had 2 dates. Oh, and then she'll say, you guys should go on dates.
No, but she didn't babysit.
Oh, that's right. Evie babysat. I had a friend of mine who came to babysit. You guys, she would say something like, oh, you called me a babysitter? No, you. Oh, I want to say the bad words to her. It's your grandchildren. I tell my children, when you guys have kids, can I be their babysitter, please? Like, are you kidding me? So anyway, so I just want, okay. Can I give you a little bit of an update of what I'm going through right now so you guys can understand what's going on? Just a quick update. So, you know that 2 months ago, I started a TikTok, okay? And TikTok is my only safe place, okay? So I seriously started it 2 months ago. I was just gonna look back to make sure when I did. And on my TikTok, let's go back and look at the very first video I did. It was 9/18. No? Shoot. When is the date? Oh God, I don't know the dates. How long ago do you think, Ulf, I started this?
It's not Christmas.
It's almost
2
2 months.
months. So 2 months ago, I don't know if you guys can see any of this.
No, it's 2.
Okay, so it's 2 months ago I started my TikTok. It's called The Naked Truth of Netta. And I just post basically about my life.
We'll do an insert of that.
Okay, we'll insert it. And there was a video on this. So I came to TikTok because I already have a big platform on social media for what I do today in my life, and that will be coming in our upcoming chapters. Some of you know because you follow me, but most of you here are not people that know me. I've been trying to keep it hidden from people that know me so that I can get my story out and then they can come and attack me, which they already found out. Boy, did they find out fast. So what happened was, in the recent couple months, you guys, I don't know if you know. So my mother came to us and said, hey, I need your help. Her husband that she's married to now for 16, 17 years, he has 3 children that she raised. For some reason, well, she raised them way more than she's done anything for us, for me and my brother, just so you know. I never had my mom raise me for 16 years. She raised these kids for 16 years. She's given them money. As a matter of fact, she still pays, I think, $300 a month to the younger brother. They're not my brothers, but you know, her husband's kids. When was the last time she sent me $300? Never. But when was the last time I gave her money? Oh, did I mention that to you guys? Did I mention that when I was about 19 years old or 18 years old, I started giving my mom $500 a month because I felt bad for her and I just wanted to give her money. And I gave her that money until I married my husband today. You're the one who cut it off, remember?
Well, most reason I paid for a divorce.
True. But I paid for her life for a long time. It wasn't for her life. It was basically free money that I gave her. So, wait, what was I going to say about that?
How much is done? Well, you know, what happened, you know.
Oh, okay. So basically, she came to me and said, I need your help. This is the second time in the last 6 years she's done this. She's like, hey, I need your help. Can you please come over? You know, my husband is doing this. The kids are doing that. I'm not going to get into what they were doing. She's the one who told me all this stuff. She called me. I checked out of her life. After the last time, 3-4 years ago, when she asked us to come and help her get divorced, we did. My husband went with her to the divorce court, spent 7 hours there, and then at the very end, she canceled it. So I decided to stay out of it. It's none of my business. I don't care. Go live your life with your husband and your kids. Go raise your kids. My brother and I are already on our own. So anyway, she pulled me back into her drama. So I go there one day and we're going to go sit down and talk about the divorce. The divorce that she wants to have, not me. I don't care about your husband. You've been with him for 16 years. So she involved me. So one of the videos that I had posted on here, I can't show it to you, was me at her house and her husband and her husband's son got in an argument because of everything that was going on. And so I said to my daughter, I want you to record because I need all this stuff. I need like video footage, not to go call the police, not to go and expose anybody. It was for record, our record, so that in 4 months later, my mom can say, oh, that didn't happen. And I'll be like, really? Because I have a video of it. Because my mom has always denied everything that has happened to me. Either it has only happened once, right off, everything, like behind my back, she goes to my husband and says, don't believe everything she says. It only happened once. I remember only one time. One time. Yeah, okay. Why would I make a big... Who wants to tell people they were thrown in a garage? Because it makes me look good? So you have to remember that this woman makes up story after stories. So I did something that wasn't nice.